Hello and greetings from the city of Billings, Montana. Right now, I'm standing on top of a cliff, and it's a cliff that runs the entire length of the north side of Billings. In Billings, we call it the Rim Rocks. Because of this cliff and other cliffs that you can see off in the distance, way off in the distance over there, many people here in the city of Billings enjoy the sport of rock climbing, or a thing that's called rappelling. And rappelling is when you use a rope to descend from a cliff. A minute ago, there was a gentleman right over here that was rappelling. I tried to get him in the video, but he left before I could get a picture of him. When I was much younger, I used to do quite a bit of climbing and rappelling, and I also did it with my dad too. It's fun. Maybe one day I'll make a video about that. But anyway, so below us is the entire city of Billings. It's a pretty little city, I think, most of it. It has about 100,000 people that live here. That big building that you see off in the distance, well, it's a big building for Billings, Montana. It is the tallest building in the state of Montana, I believe, and it's called the First Interstate Bank Tower. And then as we go over here, you can see two other tall buildings. The furthest one, the tallest of those two, is the Sheraton Hotel. And just before it is the Wells Fargo Bank building. They're also, so those are our tall buildings in Billings. There's only 3 of them. There's a few more that are almost as tall, but of course they're pretty small. And off in the distance there, you can see one of the major industries of Billings is refining petroleum products like gasoline, propane, diesel, and that is the refinery. That's what we call them here, is refineries. And further in the distance, I think over the top of those white round petroleum tanks, you can see the Yellowstone River. The Yellowstone River is another place where people from Billings go to enjoy the great outdoors. There's much kayaking and river rafting that people who live here do. Well, some people. Unfortunately, as I get older, fewer and fewer people enjoy these types of outdoor sports, and mostly sit at home and play video games and watch television. And you'll see another band of cliffs above the white oil storage tanks. Those cliffs also I used to climb when I was younger, the steep part of them. Those ones over there are very dangerous, and sometimes we would get in trouble for climbing over there. You can see more of the industrial parts of the city off in the distance here. Perhaps you can see the stockyards. I don't know if you'll be able to make it out from the phone, but the stockyards are a place where they bring cows, and they put them in corrals, and they let people bid on those cows. The people that bid on them and try to buy those cows are going to turn them into steaks and hamburger and stuff to eat. So that's where the beef producers, the farmers and ranchers, bring their cattle to sell them. So that's a lot about what happens in the city of Billings. The other thing that's kind of neat that you can see from here, I hope you can see it, is our baseball diamond. It's called Daler Stadium. It used to be called Cobb Field, but they renamed it when they rebuilt it, and they named it out. Of course, they named it after some guy who gave them a lot of money to build the stadium. So anyway, but it's a really nice baseball stadium. It has very few seats, but still, it's beautiful. I think only like 3,000 people can sit in the stadium, and it's a very fun place to go watch a baseball game in the summer. And you can see down below, I hope you can see, that none of our trees have leaves yet, because it's still, what is it, April? The end of April, and we start to get leaves like the second week of May. So, and it's much prettier after the leaves come up, come out of the trees. But then you can't see any of the houses. Like in a month's time, maybe I'll come back and take another video, and you won't be able to see much of the city at all. It'll all be covered in green. It's very pretty, but you can't see the city. Oh, one last thing before I go. If you see those circular roofs, those white circular things, that is the roof of the gymnasium at the university here. It's called the Montana State University Billings. I went to school there many years ago, and it's a nice university. It's very, very, very small. Hopefully my daughter will go there someday. So that's our university, and you can see, let's see, maybe in the center of the screen now. I don't know if you can see it. I don't think it's going to show up, but that's the hospital complex. Billings has an enormous hospital complex. It is probably the biggest business in Billings, maybe in the state of Montana right now, is just taking care of sick people. It is extremely profitable, and that's why it seems like they're always building a new building. It is an enormous industry in Billings. Anyway, this is a really long video, so I'm gonna sign off for now, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.